In this section, we'll be reviewing the RN to BS timeline. I would like to first start, we'll talk about what the schedules all look like. And so basically what you need to do first is to look at the USJ academic calendar, which you can actually just put into your browser rather than going to the website directly. And then it will pop up onto this page. And you can just click academic calendars for University of St. Joseph. And that's a little bit easier than sort of searching around the website for them. And you can see that in this one they have spring 2006. You can look at what it was in the spring, what it has been this summer, and what it will be this fall. And obviously as the spring semester is added, it will just rearrange with the order of these, and you'll have the most recent one for the spring as well. But for right now, you need to go in and look at what it is for fall. And you'll notice that there's 3 different academic calendars. One for undergraduate programs, which is the traditional women's college. One is for the graduate programs. So our nurse practitioner tracks and our DNP tracks look here. And then you all are in the program for adult learners. That's where the RN to BS program is embedded. And it's a different calendar than what the other 2 groups are looking at. So you just click on that. And then it tells you what all of the dates are really pretty early on. Excuse me. August through September, October, November, and then December. And you'll see a whole bunch of different schedules down here. But you'll be able to look and say, I am taking an online class in an 8-week module. And so the first day of that class is going to be August 29th. It's a Monday. If you were taking an every other Saturday class or an every Saturday class, that starts the Saturday actually before these regular classes all start, so be aware of that. And then if you're taking something that's just a Friday class or a full term online, so for example, those of you who are taking the full term online Spanish class, that one will start Friday the 2nd of September. So it just starts after convocation, which is our ceremony to start off the year. Everybody comes. Students come dressed well, faculty all comes in caps and gowns. University of St. Joseph's has several different events throughout the year, and convocation is our big start-off event as an academic event. You'll also notice that there's the holidays are on here, Labor Day, the last day of classes for the Saturday group, which I think is a very interesting date to be aware of. Last day to add drop for a full term, last time to add drop for an on-campus class, etc. So things to be very aware of as the semester goes on. You'll see that the Thanksgiving break is in here starting that week. And then when the last day of classes are. Do be sure to check these dates with the syllabus that's provided by your faculty member. Sometimes a faculty member will be traveling for a conference, or there'll be a day that's going to be different than what the regular schedule is. To find out what your exam schedule like, so please follow the timeline that's in the syllabus, but at least in terms of when do classes start, you can come to the undergraduate program for adult learners and look at what the academic calendar is. Also be aware, so I've told you a little bit about their 8-week classes. So a normal semester is a 15-week, not including the final, so it's really 16 weeks. In the online program, most of your courses will be in 8-week modules, and some of the courses in the on-ground program will also be in 8-week modules. And so just be aware that that's really important to find out what it is that you need to know when things are due, when the beginning and the end of classes, and so that you can best prepare for when you start needing to study for something, or when you need to start working on a paper or an assignment. The 15-week is a little bit easier, and then in the summer most of those classes are in 6 weeks. So just be aware that there are different course schedules, and that again you need to consult both the academic calendar and the syllabus that's provided by your faculty member. So when are things due? So starting in the summer, so right now, one of the things that's really important that you need to start working on right away is when you take the clinical, and I actually have a whole section when we'll talk about clinical, but basically we're doing a volunteer opportunity, and the university legally requires us to have all of this information just as you did when you were an undergrad doing your nursing program wherever it was that you were. If you've already done this, you can actually talk to the people at Castle Branch. It's a company that used to be called Certified Background, and so if you used to have this through Certified Background, you can certainly contact them and they'll just transfer your information. But if not, you need to set up a new account, and so you could just go to castlebranch.com, which I can show you right here. There we go. Okay, so you saw that I said to place the order. It wants to know the package code, so you put in UK46, and it already came up because I've done this already. And then it tells you that this is for the University of St. Joseph RN to BS, so you know right away. And it again shows you statewide criminal background checks, your residency history, and then your medical document manager. Then you just click these two that you've agreed and you continue. Yep. Oh, so it actually wants me to do it. There we go. And so then you fill out all of your information. You do have to provide your social security number. They can't do a background check without it. And all the rest of the information, and then you submit it. Now, obviously, I'm not going to fill all this out for you, but that's something that you'll need to do as you move forward. And that information, so in terms of the timeline, the reason that it's on here as being for summer is that it really does take many months to make sure that the documents are easily read, that they have all the parameters that they're asking for. So sometimes someone may not have written down the lot number for an immunization, and that may be required. You'll have to look at what's being asked for each of the immunizations. Or you have it, but it's on a second page, or the copy didn't come out very clear, so it can take many months to get everything all situated. One of the other barriers that sometimes students have is that they have all this information and it's in their occupational health department at the hospital that they work at. And sometimes getting that information from them can take a really long time. So I don't want anybody to wait for the fall semester to start working on it, and certainly by the time spring semester comes, it'll already be too late, and we'll get through that in the timeline. The course that you need it for is the very beginning of the first 8-week module of the spring semester. So if you decide in November that you're going to start working on this, that may present problems for you in taking that course then in the spring. So please start working on this this summer. Okay, so for the fall, we'll do advising. I will send you an email to invite you. I'm everybody's advisor, so that makes things easy. And I will send you an email saying that I'm ready to start setting up appointments for advising. You don't have to worry about that. But what you do need to know is that you're going to have possibly holds on your account, and it could be things like immunizations or a bursar's hold or some sort of registrar's hold. So you need to make sure that that is all cleared up. Otherwise, you won't be able to register for classes. And that's especially important for those of you who are going to be doing this program in 1 year, because if courses are filling up while you're trying to take care of a hold, that may present problems for you being able to get into a really popular course that you need for graduation. Now, if the fall is the fall before your graduation, so again, if you're in the 1-year group, these things will be required of you. And if this fall is not your year before graduation, then perhaps next fall. And so whatever fall happens to be before your graduation, you'll be required to do a portfolio. For those of you who are a second degree bachelor's person, which hopefully you should know already, if you have a bachelor's in something else, this does not apply to you, just the portfolio portion of it. But if this is your first bachelor's degree, then you do need to do a writing portfolio. And I can assure you, there will be lots of emails from the Writing Center. You'll get lots of emails about how to do the portfolio. There are lots of seminars that will be available to you to go to or to watch online about how to do the portfolio and what's expected, etc., rather than talking to your faculty or your advisors. And yes, we are always available to you, but the Writing Center is really where all this gets directed, and so they'll be doing all of the education for you, so please don't worry about it. It's usually 1 or 2 papers that you've already written and submitted to a course, and you just present them there for them to review. You need to complete a graduation application, which is a 1-page form that just says your intention is to graduate, and then that will be signed by your advisor, which is me. And then the degree audit portion, again, that actually just gets printed out online, so you don't need to fill anything out. And so we can, if this is your fall before graduation and you're a 1-year student, we can do 2 of these 3 things right at your advising appointment. So that's pretty straightforward. But do be aware that they come up quick, especially, again, if you're a 1-year person. For the spring semester, you'll have advising. If you're taking summer classes or if you're going to be here for more than 1 year, you get advised in the spring for the summer. Excuse me, and the fall at the same time, and you should register for the fall and the spring. The fall courses are very popular, and some classes only run once a year. And so please don't wait until the summer or right before classes start to then register for your fall classes, because they will probably be full already. So if you're advised in the spring, you register in the spring for the summer and for the fall. Things that you must have before the spring semester starts. And of course that always sounds like it's so far away to be the spring, but it really starts like January 10th usually. And as you saw from the academic calendar, we don't have the spring academic calendar posted yet, so you do need to keep track of when that semester exactly starts. But like I said, it's usually within the second week of January. So it really should be called Dead of Winter semester, but it's spring. And so by the beginning of January, you have to have the Castle branch, so you have to have your certified background completed so that you can start that course. And you must have passed your NCLEX, which hopefully everyone will have done as soon as possible. But if for whatever reason that didn't happen in the summer or in the fall, then you have until the beginning of that second semester to pass that. You must have that in order to start the clinical. So if you're graduating in May or August, so again, if you're graduating in May or August of your second year or your first year, just know that there is a pinning ceremony to which all RN to BS students are expected to attend. You don't have to get an actual pin if you would rather just keep the pin that you have from your community college. It's not in place of, but it does mark the next degree that you have, and so you would also get a USJ one. For some students, they may not have had any pinning at their community college, and for some of you, it was a wonderful and very special day. And so we add that to your experience as an RN to BS student, and like I said, you can purchase a pin or not. And if not, we basically just pin a little ribbon to you, but you still get honored and recognized. It's nice because instead of graduation, which is usually the big event, instead of the graduation, at least at pinning, you get your name called. Your family gets to see you walk across the stage, which may be more challenging when there's a few thousand of you at the big graduation. And the other nice thing is that we create a PowerPoint slide, and you can put your family's picture on it and say a thank you to them, and they go through. We have one for each student, so everyone gets a chance to say thank you, which again, you don't get that chance at graduation. So it is a special event. It's nice for the faculty because we get to meet your family, your kids, your spouse, whoever. So please know that that's in the spring semester, even if you're an August graduate. And then there's other campus events for graduation, and of course you'll hear about that as the spring semester approaches. Now for the summer, so again, if you're taking the summer classes, if you're graduating in May, you have to have a maximum of 6 credits left. And so if you have 2 classes to take still, you can still graduate in May because most of the time those are 3 credit classes and there's 2, so that's 6. If you have 3 classes you still need to take, then that just makes you an August graduate, and that's fine. And of course, if you have been going maybe very part-time and only taking 1 or 2 classes, then you may have several semesters still left to go. And so then the timeline repeats itself, and just know that that's what all of these events look like. But at some point we definitely get to finish, and everybody gets to graduate. And so that is the bulk of what the timeline looks like. And so it's mostly just about planning ahead and knowing what events are coming up outside of the classroom, like the writing portfolio and a pinning ceremony.